Welcome back, everybody, to RacePlazaMedia. My name is Milan.
My name is Pia.
We are siblings, and we're going to talk about the.
We're
This is a big goodbye race. This was a goodbye weekend for Zandvoort track.
Yes.
We don't know when it will be back.
Yes.
Um,
Hopefully, we'll be back. I would think so.
I mean,
hope
hopefully,
so.
maybe they'll do some renovations. Maybe they'll add a few more seats. But this was a double race weekend. We had a sprint race, on Saturday that we did not watch.
Nope.
And it seems like we didn't really miss out on a lot.
Nope.
Congratulations to, this was difficult for me to say, for George Russell for winning the race.
Yes.
He didn't even start from the front, but he had an excellent start and was really able to take off. And we had Charles in second and then Lando closing up the podium in third. Now, we're going to go right into the main race.
Well, before we get into the main race, we do want to talk about a new face on the grid, a new old face on the grid.
Yes, unfortunately, in the summer break, Isaac Hadjar,
this week.
Oh,
Just this week. Yes, earlier this week.
Or also known as Isaac Hadjar. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Unfortunately, injured his hand/wrist.
Yes.
And it must be really bad if he's not able to participate because, they'll tough it out if they can. So that meant Liam Lawson was actually promoted up to race alongside hometown hero Max Verstappen in the Red Bull racing car. And Yuki Tsunoda, the reserve driver, was able to step into the new car, in the new regulation car for the Racing Bulls.
Yes.
And you have to hand it to Yuki. He did fantastic. For you pointed out to me off camera, how he only really had one free practice.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, well, he does get, obviously he does a lot of sim work, but it is very different.
Yeah, it's still, you're still not in the car.
Yeah.
And so I think Yuki, it was so
I don't
great
know how much testing he did.
Yeah.
The off-season testing that they do. I don't know how much, but it is not the same.
Yeah. So I was very happy to see him. I was very happy that he got the opportunity because, of course, there's other people who could have gotten the opportunity to be in it.
I have a question for you. Do you think, because they obviously edited him into the intro, do you think, because I can't remember right now how Liam Lawson looks in his Racing Bull intro, do you think they just photoshopped like CGI'd a Racing Bull outfit, a Red Bull outfit onto him? Or do you think they reshot it?
I think they've reshot it probably just as they reshot Yuki's.
Okay.
They probably just
I just like the idea if it was just like a PNG. Not that they did. It looks okay.
Yeah.
The F1 Academy intro, watch it. Even if you don't watch F1 Academy.
Yeah, it's so
It's
good.
a much better intro.
Yes.
I think editing wise compared to F1.
Especially the ending is so
The ending
good.
is so sick. Also, if you get the reference.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I was so happy that Yuki got the opportunity. I'm happy that he had a good weekend. Obviously, it could have been better. It could have been worse. But I think overall, he had a good weekend and he was able to show that he could still race. Because I don't think he's been racing outside of
Well, I don't know
this.
if you really have time that much. Yeah.
So,
That's true. He's not racing in any other leagues.
Yeah,
that is
but
correct.
I wanted to say, I don't know if this is how true this is, because I just saw it on socials and I forgot to dive deeper into it. But apparently, Isaac had spoken to Mark Marquez about his injury because they know each other, and Mark was like, "Hey, don't get into the car too soon." Heal, because he was like, "Oh, I can probably race," but then Mark was like, "No, just."
Because it's
hang
also
back,
like, what if you crash again, right? Make it worse, right? What if you end up breaking your hand like Danny did 2 years ago, right? Or also we saw Marc Marquez, for reference, if you're watching MotoGP, right? He had his injury on his shoulder where he lost feelings in his hand for like a millisecond, but it ended up causing to crash out several races at the beginning of the season, which I think if he would have had that surgery sooner, right, he would have come back sooner and probably collected a few more points in the championship, which is still wide open, and you should watch MotoGP because it is so fucking good.
So good. So good. But I think,
speaking about F1.
Yeah, but I think it was if this is a true conversation that happened, I think it is the right recommendation also, because it sounds like Isaac might be back for the next race already.
In 2 weeks,
so
right?
he has another week off before the race happens. So he had 2 weeks to rest and rehab his hand and wrist.
So his recovery time is much faster.
And he also has the right team by him
to make sure the best of the best.
Exactly. So he'll have access to the team, the health, the medicine, the facilities that he needs to rehab his wrist so he can be back in 2 weeks' time.
Yes, and like, not to be a dick about this, right? But Isaac is not racing for the championship.
Yeah.
While Red Bull will probably want all the points that they can get for the Constructors' Championship, it is he's not in contention for the WDC. He's not gonna be miraculously all of a sudden winning it, because the Red Bull, for one, wasn't in a position in the beginning, and it's just not on. No, it's just not happening this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. So take the time to recover.
Exactly. Take care of yourself, because you want to be in this game for the long haul.
Yes.
And not hurt yourself and injure yourself even further, then lose more time in the car.
Or have a subpar performance for the next couple of races. Yeah. And we know how quick Red Bull is to do
or used to be. Yeah.
Used to be. I mean, I think hopefully with Mackey's now, it is not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Mackey's, sorry.
Yeah.
Also, before I forget about it, what a fantastic video about the Max resigning.
Yes.
No, re-signing. If you haven't watched it, it's I think on their socials.
Yeah,
probably
it's all over the socials. So it was such a great, fun announcement.
That can't be.
I thought it was really well done, and also
super cute
for Max to participate in a video. I think it's always fun.
It hit perfectly on the note, very casual.
Yes.
Because there were obviously in the summer break big rumors, because Max did go on vacation with Toto.
Yes.
They were vacationing it up on a yacht, which looked like so much fun. It was Max's family, Toto's family. So really, really, but I'm assuming they probably would have already talked about that is not happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
So Max has extended his contract with Red Bull until 2030.
2030.
I will say, I'm sure there's a bunch of exit clauses because he's allowed to
he was asked about it, but he was like, I don't talk about my contract.
It is also, there will always be rumors, and I'm sure there will be some type of leaks, and I'm sure there's a performance clause in there that is like, if this doesn't happen, then he is allowed to leave.
Yes.
But Max does strike me as the person who is happy to stay where he is.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't strike me as a person who wants to switch a lot of teams, right?
I mean, he talked about it in one of the press conferences that it was his team, his dream to stay with the team for his whole career.
Yes.
You know, and he's been with Red Bull for most of his life, like literally most of his life now, you know?
Yeah, he's been part of the Red Bull. I mean, he got drafted as a junior into the racing academy. Yeah. And then he went to the Racing Bulls, or AlphaTauri, whatever they were called back in the day, Visa Push Talk.
Whatever.
I don't know. And then he got to Red Bull in 2017, I think. So it's been almost 10 years next year, right? So I respect it, and I think it's cool. And I also like when athletes have the agency to make that decision. It helps, obviously, that he is Max fucking Verstappen, right?
For sure.
And he has 4 championships under his belt. But I'm happy that he's happy.
Yeah.
And I hope things continue to work out for him. I mean... Okay, I will say, sorry, I loved the drama about him going to Mercedes. It would have made so many things possible in the driver's market.
It would have been a whole second kind of thing of like Lewis going to Ferrari. Yes. The announcement was huge, and like everybody was panicking, and I think this would have been very similar. Although there was more conversation about this now leading up, that maybe is he going to Mercedes?
Because I mean, with Lewis, it was also kind of thing is he didn't want to leave Mercedes, right? It was kind of this thing where it's like he didn't get what he, in my opinion, was owed.
Yeah.
But I will say it will be interesting how things are going to go next year, because GP, this will be the first year for Max at Red Bull without GP.
Yes.
His race engineer.
Yeah. Where is he going again?
He's going to McLaren. He's
yes,
getting
yes,
like
yes.
a higher position.
Yes.
So of course you have to kind of follow if you want to grow your career, because I
course.
could also see that maybe one day he wants to be a
Team principal,
yeah. Which he looks like he's on track for that,
yes.
right? They like it when they're engineers
nowadays. Yes, exactly.
I will say what we also can't forget to mention is that Sainz extended his contract with Williams.
That's what I was going to get into. That not only Sainz, but also Albon. Both of them extended. Albon just for a year, and then Sainz multiple years. What?
So and then we know what happened in the race.
Oh.
Like, cheers to that. We'll get into that in just a little bit.
But I mean, it makes sense that both of them renewed with Williams because obviously especially Albon has been so loyal to Williams and been working, paying off his dues, or I mean, not that he owes them anything, but it's good that both of them got the opportunity to extend. It's good for Williams to have experienced drivers. And also, there was not really a different good opportunity for them to switch to. I guess there's some seats that are open. There's potentially a Haas seat open. There's some of the Racing Bull seats are technically still open and things like that. But
and it's also like this was George's best weekend in a long time.
Yeah.
Also based on his own admission, right? And we'll talk about him in a little bit because I do have some things to say about him. But it is also maybe there's like this weight off his chest that he's not competing with Max.
Fair, yes.
I don't know how true that is, but I'm thinking like you now know that he is not going to come for his seat.
His seat is not guaranteed yet, or they haven't announced
but who would you put in, right?
No.
Besides maybe Oscar, who's apparently unhappy at McLaren, which based on the race that we saw this weekend, it is not surprising because like what the fuck is going on over there?
But there's one more thing I want to talk about in terms of the driver seat situation, because they were talking about it in the pre-show that Alonso it's still up to see if he's going to renew or not, and then they're also talking about the Williams both announced theirs this weekend, and Max made his big announcement, so Alonso's probably like, well, I want my own shine, so I'm not going to say anything this week.
He's the only one scoring points for them.
Yeah.
So I mean, the thing about it is like, who else are you going to put in the car?
No, of course. But it's a question of like, does he still want to do it?
I mean, it sounds like he wants to do it.
Yeah.
I just wish they
who knows? Things might have changed. He's a dad now. You know, maybe he's like, oh, well, I'm so much away from my child. I'm just theorizing here, you know?
I will say this because the Aston... I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but first points of the year, right? So maybe the Nui special
Magic
is coming now, you know? Maybe they are moving the car into a direction where it is not a back marker.
Yeah.
You know, so...
I mean, it was a combination of maybe the upgrades, but also strategy this weekend because they ended up not doing what some other people did during this race, so that's why it worked out in their favor.
Yes.
But I think maybe now let's switch to the actual race.
Yes.
So the first big thing that happened.
Yes.
Is
lap 1. Lap 3. Sorry, lap 3.
Was it lap 3?
Lap 2.
It was lap 2.
Lap 2.
Or no, it was at the end of lap 1 even. Was it not? I feel like they haven't even completed.
Yeah, because they did 2 extra formation laps. So Max did crash out.
Yes.
Right at the beginning of the race. Unfortunately, the track was slightly damp. And he put one of the tires on the paint. A little bit reminiscent of what happened to Lewis last year, just a different corner. And that ended up him just crashing out in a section of the track where there is no runoff area. And the crash looked worse than it fortunately was for him because he said also in his post-race interview it was sideways, unfortunately not head on.
Yeah.
And you have to give it to goddamn Nico Hulkenberg for avoiding that crash.
No, he didn't just avoid him, but he also avoided Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby who did a 360,
yeah, which
right?
we also didn't see.
Yeah,
really.
They did show it in his post-race interview.
But I mean, like not in the actual race.
Yeah, I know, and not that we did skip.
I was gonna say we did skip it, but still.
We skipped the red because it was immediately red flagged.
Yes.
So
Max didn't even finish a full lap. It happened right at the end, right before crossing the finish line for the first time. He spun out, which was obviously a huge shock. It's
also
such a bummer.
Unfortunate.
Because it's his home race.
70% of the people are there for him.
Well, yeah, that, and
or
it's also
rooting for him at least.
Yeah, and it's also his last home race for
who knows how long.
For who knows how long. So that happened. Gabby spinning out. He was able to miraculously, nobody crashed into Max. Nobody crashed into Gabby during that, because also when Max had turned, there was a bunch of smoke or steam or something that came out, so the vision was impaired. And it also,
Max ping-ponged, right?
Exactly.
He crashed on the left side and then ended up on the right side because he hit the barrier on both sides.
Well, he started on the right side, and then he touched the paint on the right side, was sent over to the left side, hit the barrier, then went back to the right side. So he literally crossed the track twice.
Yeah.
Nobody hit him. In the meantime, Gabby does a full 360, several cars behind him, but there's also nobody that crashes into him. Apparently, Arvid Lindblad was his vision was impeded by it, and that's why he did his yellow flag infringement of overtaking Gasly, which I do also agree with him. That and I think Colapinto also got.
Colapinto said that he was like, Colapinto and Arvid got those 2 drive-through penalties.
Which I think is really harsh.
For Colapinto, he said, well, what am I supposed to do? Slam on the brakes on the straight?
Yeah.
I didn't see a review of it, but it seems like, given the circumstance, to get a drive-through penalty is very harsh.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I think a 5-second penalty, sure, it's a yellow flag infringement, that's the rule, but a drive-through penalty is very harsh for right at the beginning, for like the first infringement of the race. It's not like it's like multiple yellow flag infringement that you've caused.
I don't like the idea of like being like, well, you, for the first yellow flag infringement, you get slapped on the hand. But I do think like...
No, I'm not saying that he shouldn't get a penalty, but I'm saying like it was his first yellow flag infringement of the race. So for that, it should just be a 5-second penalty.
No, I don't agree with this. It's like, if you do multiple infringements during the race, then it should... I think, sure...
It does. It does change the penalty.
I know what you're saying, but I don't like the idea of it's like, because you... you did it for the first time. I think also what my big issue is like, why are we not applying some type of like what happened in this situation? Like, I think that is more important a little bit in that situation, because it's like there was a terrible crash happening, right? And then there was a yellow flag. Yes. Because of that, there was a yellow flag infringement because the timing was really difficult at the time. So it was like, kind of also like, well, you didn't like that he passed someone, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why don't you just like, because it was red flag, why don't you just say like,
give the position back?
Yeah. Or then, like you said, a 5-second.
Well, and also like, so Max's thing happened at the last corner, and then his overtake happened at the first corner. So there's quite a distance also. So I think it's also interesting that this yellow flag area was that broad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it was a full course yellow. I'm not sure, but it is like, it's again the thing that the stewards are. I'm like, can we apply a little common sense?
Yeah.
And then also the whole VSC at the end of the race was, what a fucking bullshit that was. It's like so
let's talk about it very briefly.
Yeah.
So essentially the two Williams got together.
Yeah.
Albon, so it was going into turn 1. Albon was on the left side. Albon was on the outside. Sainz was on the inside. Sainz had a big, he said he hit a bump, which ended up causing, or during the braking, I guess he hit a bump, which caused his tires to lock up. Had a big lockup. I mean, you could see the smoke, and then he essentially crashed into Albon, who was going to turn on the outside of him, which then caused multiple pieces of debris to be scattered on and around the racetrack. And then several laps later, they ended up bringing out the virtual safety car for it.
Correct, to collect the debris, because we saw they were struggling to pick that.
Yes, and I think
no offense against the marshals, because there's this volunteer work.
Scary.
It is scary.
They're still racing, because at the beginning of that, I mean, during a virtual safety car, they're still on the track driving at high speeds, at a delta, but it's still at high speeds. But I think our issue with it was that we don't think that debris on the track really justifies a virtual safety car of that afflicts the entire track.
What I think is something that they should do, and I think like I've watched some of the ELMS race and I'll finish it, but the thing that I really like about the endurance race is there's so much communication from the race director to the drivers and to the people in the car. So and what they also have is they have slow zones.
Yes.
So why don't we implement that type of rule? It's like, okay, sector 1 or from T1 or whatever to T3, there's a slow zone. So you have to hit 80 kilometers. And then they're saying like, during the ELMS race in the first lap, there was immediately a safety car. They're like, we're all going to go through that. Or it's like, or stick to the left side when you're going through that. It's like, I just feel like there could be better communications. There could be better ways to handle this where we don't always have to impact the race when, let's be real, yes, this was probably one of the better races that we had in a while, but it wasn't that exciting. And so I'm a little, of course, biased also because it was impacting severely Lewis and his attempt to get onto the podium.
Yes.
And I think like the whole team order situation that happened before probably impacted him the most and prevented him to get onto the podium. But it is this thing where it's like, when there's already so little race action in a track that we know is difficult to overtake, right? It's like,
it feels like theft.
It feels like you're
stealing race action from us when there was literally a battle happening.
And this is the second time this has happened where it's like, why is there an unnecessary virtual safety car? Then you also had, I think I saw that drivers were also saying like there was no need to do a second formation lap. So they did a formation lap for the restart and then they added a second one to it. It's like they were like there was no need for that. So it is just, again, it feels like whoever is in charge of these races there needs to be more common sense applied and needs to do a better job. It was sometimes very frustrating because it's like we're already getting so little race action. There was a huge lull in between the race, in the middle of the race, where I'm like, God damn, we have another 30 laps left and nothing happened.
Well, not only that, but then it's the same issue that we've been having recently. Like the broadcast still only focuses on the top 6 drivers and shows them just driving behind each other and not really battling. But then we've had this group of, like, with Gasly, with the Racing Bull drivers, they were constantly battling for a hot second.
Yuki was doing some great overtakes.
Yes, and then also Nico was in the battle there. So I'm like, we saw it often just on the small screen. And then even the commentators were like, oh, look at the small screen. And I'm like, I know it's not them. They don't show us the screen, or they don't show us. They only see what we're seeing for the most part too. But I'm like, just then put it on the big screen. If Kimi is just driving behind Lando with more than a second, like we don't need to see this. Even
because we know there's no overtake that's gonna happen.
Exactly. Even if they're like more like a half a second behind, they're not close enough to do any battling, especially during very specific. There's overtakes only happen on very specific parts of the track. And we know usually where those overtakes can potentially happen. Like, yes, there's sometimes surprises, but for the most part, you can anticipate it. And you know when this is happening, and you know how close they need to be for it to work out. Like, yes, of course, when drivers make mistakes, that whole thing changes. But in the meantime, you can show actual racing that is happening, actual battling that is happening, actually wheel-to-wheel action that is happening, but we're missing out on so much of it. I had seen a video that Fernando Alonso apparently had some really great battling during the sprint race. That wasn't shown on in the main broadcast. So I'm like,
they didn't even show it on the highlights.
Yeah, so I'm like, why are we being robbed of this experience?
It is sometimes incredibly frustrating. And I mean, I feel like the last couple of videos we've talked about F1, it has been like this. The racing action has been low, and then the little bit that does happen, we're not showing. But I want to kind of move on from this, because one thing that also really pissed me off this race was, what the hell is McLaren doing to Oscar? What the fuck? They're putting him on a soft tire with 30 laps to go? What are we doing?
Yeah, so
are you trying to, like, you're not even trying to hide it at this point.
It's so frustrating, because obviously last race he was screwed over by like team calls, and then obviously his car ended up not working, or no, he got crashed into by Carlos, and it was like a whole other mess, which was also still he was very much affected by team orders and bullshit calls.
The blue flags like that Carlos ignored for like 7.5 hours, and then yes, the car ended up breaking down, but you don't know that, right?
No, exactly. But then so then this time, first he goes into the pits. The pit stop is over 3 seconds, which is obviously not done purposely, but it already like just hurts him. Then I think the timing that they called his pit stop, then the tire that they put on him.
Was it a 5-second pit stop?
I don't think so.
Someone had for sure a 5-second pit stop. Was it Russell?
I don't remember. But anyway, so it was a longer pit stop that hurt him. So because he was trying to, because Russell had gone into the pits first, so Piastri went in next to be able to still end up in front of him because of the longer pit stop. He ended up behind him. Then he had the soft tires. So it was like, and then he just started falling back. Both of the Ferraris ended up overtaking him. And then even in the post-race interview, Oscar was like,
no comment.
I don't know.
He was very few words. Listen, and I'm not someone who likes to believe in like any type of like conspiracy theories, because I am very I was like, does this make sense? Because like I know last year there's very much, and I mean in the end you do have to give it to say that it's true that there was favoritism given in the team to Lando, because like, my God, you're telling someone to give back a position because you made the wrong call to people who are fighting for the championship.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys mental?
Yeah.
But it is this thing where it's also like there is a huge discrepancy in performance, which we know that technically there's not.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yes.
Not since last season. We know that Oscar is as fast as Lando, and I don't want to take away from Lando, right? Lando did an excellent race, and big congratulations to him for winning it, right? But it is this thing. It's like, what is going on the inside there? Because something is off, and I don't like it. I'm not even a big Oscar Piastri fan. I like Oscar, but I'm like not like Team Oscar here.
Yeah.
I'm just like, something is off, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking about team orders, you have to give it to George motherfucking Russell, right? I am someone who has been many times hard on Russell.
Yes.
Because Russell had the unfortunate thing that he became Lewis's teammate. And usually if you're Lewis's teammate, I don't like you as much. Right? It's just the truth. I can admit to my bias. Yeah. That's just the truth, right? Yeah. But that he gave Kimi the position after Mercedes did the stupid call to have for the VSC, I think it was the first VSC, to have Kimi to come in to change his tires because Kimi wasn't doing well on the hards, right? But it is an interesting call to make to bring him into the pits when this is a track that is so difficult to overtake on, right? And then that Russell pulled over because he could have made it hard. Yeah. On Kimi. And I do have to admit, because he was talking on the radio, like, oh yeah, team orders, we're going to work on this together, double podium, and we're not going to fight this. And at first I was like, oh, are you trying to keep second place? Although we know Kimi's going to come and get you. You're just trying to protect your ass. In a way, he was trying to protect himself, but he was not necessarily trying to protect himself from Kimi. He was trying to protect himself from Lewis, who also had fresher tires on and was coming for him. Obviously, we know now with the virtual safety car that kind of hurt Lewis in a different way. I mean, obviously, we don't know if it would have worked out for him either way, but there was definitely more of a possibility if that didn't have happened. Because the Ferrari is still losing 4/10 on the straight.
Yes,
which
exactly.
Come on, guys.
But so then, like you said, then for Russell to not even like complain about it or anything like that, let and Kimi pass. Kimi really didn't have a chance to get Lando at that point. Because it was 11 seconds. Because he was too far away.
And Lando was doing a great job in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
And he also had the better strategy. What the fuck were they doing at McLaren again?
No clue. But then the other team order that we do need to talk about briefly is the Ferrari.
And I will say, like, I've seen in many videos that I've seen about this now, a lot of people laying into Charles, and some of them I don't like it. I'm just like even though like I'm not like a big Charles Leclerc fan, you know, because I'm a Lewis fan, right? But it is this thing where it's like you held up Lewis, which ended up costing maybe potentially both of you guys the podium, because a lot of people were like, well, if you would have not done all of that, I get that you wanted the tire offset, right? But you weren't faster, and I am someone who comes on here and says a lot, like, if you're faster than pass, right? But in this case, it is also this like constructors championship we're thinking about, and it is like you kind of cost potentially both of you guys to podium.
Yeah.
And it is this thing where it's like people are also pointing out last year Lewis moved over several times to make way for Charles. And this time around, it's like Ferrari is not, they're not, I don't know, willing to tell Charles to move over. So they're asking him to pit.
Yeah.
And then he has a complete freak out on the radio. And Lewis was very vocal on the radio.
Yeah.
And he also said in the post-race radio, which we didn't hear, he because his race engineer was like, "Oh, you know, unlucky," and he was like, "No, not unlucky.
Yeah,
this could have been prevented." And I want to say, and again, like, oh my God, I get it falling down the rabbit hole, but it's like they were asking Lewis during his first stint on the soft tire, how's the tire, and he was like, the tire feels great.
Yeah,
right, without telling him that he's losing 2 seconds.
Yes.
To Kimi per lap.
Yeah.
If you would have told him that, the tire might feel great.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that he's losing 2 fucking seconds per lap.
It's tough.
It's tough to be a Ferrari fan out here sometimes.
So tough to be a Ferrari. And we're heading into Italy next. We're going to Monza next. So I'm like, I really hope that they can get their shit together so we have for at least one or both Ferraris on the podium next round.
I think historically, if Monza is not Lewis's lap, it's I think one of the laps where one of the tracks he's never won multiple times on. I think he has 1 win on it. I'm not quite sure. But we had that beautiful 2024 Ferrari Monza that was gorgeous win by Charles. That was really, really awesome. But and you also have to give it to like Lewis comes in there and like Ferrari is in such a better shape than we've seen it in a long time, right? And you cannot tell me that this is not influences that are coming from him. You can't fucking tell me that.
I mean, obviously we're biased towards Lewis, but I think it's the proof is showing that proof is very much changes in the pudding. Have been made since he is now part of the team and it's working in their favor.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so he's currently 3rd, technically sharing 2nd in the driver championship with George.
George has more win, I think, first podium
yes,
sets.
So they're point even at the moment, which is incredible. Charles is 5th with like almost 30 points behind or 28 points behind.
And you might also think then it's like if you have a driver who's not that Charles is technically out of the race for the World
Driver Championship.
Drivers. I don't know why I'm trying to say WDC always. But it is like Lewis is so much closer, also fighting in 2nd place.
Yes.
And it's like, why wouldn't you give him a little bit preferential treatment?
Yeah, and
when it comes to a podium.
But we're not even asking for huge preferential treatment. We're asking like the same thing that happened last year. Like you were given the right to pass if you clearly show that you have more pace, and if that doesn't work out, you switch places again.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's
Lewis has also shown before that he will give this place back. This is not a thing that he doesn't do, but it's this thing because if he would have finished ahead of Russell, then he would still be clearly in 2nd place in the drivers' championship. So it's like, come on, guys.
So we'll see, but we have one more race coming up. I mean, we didn't talk about. So Lando won, Kimi came in 2nd, George came in 3rd, and then Lewis very close. 4th followed by Charles. Overall driver championship, Kimi's still leading by quite a bit.
Almost 60 points.
Almost 60 points. Then George and Lewis are right behind him, and then Lando. It is nice to see the McLarens back in the action, but the McLarens have, for me, a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth just because how it's been looking like how they've been treating Oscar, or the very preferential treatment that Lando seems to be getting, at least as appearance from the outside.
Yeah, the problem is just like, where are you gonna go, right?
No, of course.
If Max would have done the move to Mercedes, right, then there would have been maybe talks. But I find it hard to see Mercedes picking Oscar over George when George is doing well.
Yeah.
You know?
Truly.
Yeah, of course, Kimi is doing incredibly well, but it's not that George is falling apart.
No,
right?
not at all. But then there's no other really, because those are the top teams then, and they're all filled. You know, so
2 things I wanted to say also about George. First of all, congratulations for his engagement.
Oh, yes.
That also happened during the summer break. But then also like I don't know if this happened. He's been quite well about it, but it's like I feel like he's been very mentally together. The way he's like handling himself in the post-race interviews and stuff like that. And I think, I don't know, hopefully he's maybe working with someone, but he's, because it is like you come into this championship or into this season, right, where everyone is like thinking like, oh, this is George, he'll win it, run away with it. Then you have your teammate who is in his second year kind of like dominating you for a little bit there. You also getting incredibly unlucky with some things, right? A lot of DNFs, unforced and like technical, and some of them his own fault, right? But like he seems also in his post-race interview, in the interview on after the race that they did on the podium or whatever that is, he seemed really well together. And again, this is coming from someone who's not a George Russell lover, right? Not that I hate the guy, but I'm not someone who's like, woo. I'm more Kimmy. I've been for years. I think that is like, this is not, I'm not a Volksfan. But you know, so that's what I just want to say.
No, I agree. I mean, it's nice to see, and it also makes me happy that he seems to be in a good headspace. I think maybe the break also helped, and coming back stronger from the break helps. So we'll see how this continues. I'm still very much interested, obviously, to see how the season progresses.
It's still wide open. 50 points or 60 points is like, what is it? Last year, Max made up 100 points in like a 4-race or 5-race.
No, exactly. So there's so much still up for grabs. And there's still, as frustrated as I am with Formula One, I still enjoy the sport.
Because we enjoy racing in general, right?
Yes, exactly. But
and
it's
baseball.
But it's just like, it's there's lots of flaws in the sport recently, or in the broadcast of it, and in the rulings of things that are just making it frustrating to enjoy the experience.
Yes. And then I also read, I think that both Mercedes, or at least Kimi, is on the limit with one of the parts that if he has to get another replacement for it, he automatically gets a 10-place grid penalty.
Was it like power unit, or is it something else?
I don't know if it's a power unit or it's something that he's already maxed out on, where it's like with the reliability issues that the Mercedes had, which is quite unusual, which I mean, I guess that this is the thing that you pay for when you go power over reliability. But in the end, if you look at the Constructors' Championship, if you look at the Drivers' Championship, even though they have had so many issues, it is paying off. Because in the Constructors' Championship, they're almost 100 points up to Ferrari. That's crazy.
All right. So I guess we'll see. We have a week off before they head to Monza. I'm very excited for it. We'll have back-to-back races then. We have Monza and then we have Spain. So
Madrid, right?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll leave you guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And like, subscribe. And then I'll be back on Thursday with our What to Watch.
And I know already what I'm going to watch.
Well, you'll find out then.